Now we come up on boat number 89, Kid Apache. This is a 45-foot Apache racing hull powered by three 900-horsepower Carolina racing engines with Mercury Marine number 6 outdrives. This boat is owned by ALF Offshore Racing Limited. Driving today is Alan Feingold from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Randy Garcia from Miami, Florida is on throttles, and Kelly Wolf from Miami, Florida is your navigator. So Wolf, Garcia, and Feingold making up Kid Apache Kid. Ocean Outboard, the other Victory Team boat, as well as Spirit of Houston and Felson's High Risk, they're going at it, as well as Tough Enough is right up there in Pro 1. Pro 2, the other Victory boat, as well as Imagine That and Columbia Pepsi Express, Rush, How Sweet It Is, all still going at it. We've got some great racing, and there's an excellent head-on shot of the Kid Apache headed up by Alan Feingold, and this boat is looking exceptionally well, running very strong, and we wish them all the best as we're starting to draw to the closing stages of this race, the Suncoast Offshore 1992 Grand Prix in Sarasota, Florida. Right here, it's Alan Feingold in your picture in Kid Apache. Now we come up on boat number 96, In Excess. This is a 47-foot Apache racing hull powered by three 800-horsepower Carolina inboard motors with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Ted Sabarese. Throttling is Trace Martin from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Rick Sabarese is your navigator. The In Excess race team, and they're chasing Kid Apache right now. So that we've got a good battle going on in Super V, Deep V racing hull style boat right there. In excess in second place, challenging Feingold's Kid Apache. Kurt Berger smoking the Bandit right there in the middle of your picture. Now we come up on Tropic Heat's stiff competitor. It's D15, the Predator race team. There's a 41-foot Apache powered by two 800-horsepower Stotler inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Edward Toth of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Throttling today is Herb Stotler from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Ed Toth obviously doing the driving. So Stotler and Toth making up the Predator race team, and they're looking very good right now. They're in a fierce battle with Tropic Heat, who we just saw earlier on. D will be running 5, Modified will be doing 4, Pro Stock 1 will be doing 4, Sport B and Super Stock S will be running 3 laps, and the production will be running 3 laps. So that is the story. And right now you see the boats coming out of the milling area, and we're going to be going with a super boat and open start. We've got the green flag, and what a start we've got. Right there in your picture, it's the Kid Apache Kid. The Spirit of Norway is there. Predator is also in the picture. Cobra Marine is there. Tweedy Revenge is coming up strong. Extractor, Gifford Marine. We've got a good start. With the skyline of Ocean City, Maryland in the background, we're going to get the best possible race we can for you today. The weather, as I said, is really the key factor here, and as a result, it's going to make for some slower average speeds, obviously, but nonetheless, everyone is competing on a similar course and race conditions, so we are going to have some good racing. Right there in your picture, that's Extractor, with Jim Lausnowski at the helm. And that's Gifford Marine coming up alongside Extractor. Spirit of Norway is looking nice, and Budweiser is also moving right along. Ohio Steel is going to be in the hunt. Gifford Racing is looking good, as well as Kitana. And there's Recovery with Stuart Haim and Joey and Pressure from New York coming down to this race. And now we're going to go with our first boat today. It's boat number 89, Kid Apache Kid. This is a 45-foot Apache racing hull powered by three 1,000 horsepower CNG engines with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Alan Feingold of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On throttles, he's got Jerry Davis from Philadelphia, and from Voorhees, New Jersey, your navigator is Bobby Horn. So Feingold, Davis, and Horn making up the Kid Apache race team. Presently, they're second in points in the OPT Superboat V-bottom class, so they'd really like to have a good race here today. There you get an idea of Jerry Davis doing the job that he needs to do on the throttles. They're really going to get a workout today, all throttle men. Now we come up on D15, the Predator race team. There's a 41-foot yellow Apache powered by two 800-horsepower Stadler inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Edward Toth of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Throttling today is Herb Stadler from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Eddie Toth Jr. from Sellersville, Pennsylvania is your navigator. And there you see Katana coming back up in the background. And riding today with this crew is Edward Toth, who's just along for the ride as your navigator and helping out. This boat has a very good 1992 campaign record behind it. They have a second already in national point standings. They had a second in Point Pleasant, a seventh in Lake St. Clair, and they're looking to build on that and extend their lead over the third and fourth place boats, but close the gap between themselves and the first place boat. Revenge. There's a 47-foot Apache powered by three 1100 horsepower CNG motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Dan Morris of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Driving today is Randy Garcia from Miami, Florida. On throttles, it's Larry Goldman from Hollywood, Florida. And your navigator is Richard Schumann. So the team of Schumann, Goldman, and Garcia making up the Tweet Revenge race team. And on the far outside, that is the Spirit of Norway. However, those are different class boats. The Superboat boat being Tweet Revenge and your open boat Spirit of Norway. But nonetheless, these are two of your fastest boats out on the race course, and it's certainly appropriate to see these two boats running up in front. Boat number 33, the Mean Streak race team. This 41-foot Apache known as Mean Streak is powered by CNG Cobra motors. This boat is owned and operated by Bob Gallo, throttled by Bob Cicente, owner of many world and national titles, and navigated by crew chief Bob Shinblatt. This rough water boat, who is running very well today in the open class, now has a chance to get a checkered flag since they're splitting the awarding of trophies for deep V hulls versus the catamarans, which was introduced by Superboat Racing this year. So in the deep V class, they're presently running in first place. Last year at this same race, they had a manufacturer's defect, which caused them just to miss out on a checkered flag. That defect was in a faulty sea strainer, which cost them the race, and they were forced to drop out. A 45-foot Apache powered by three 1,000 horsepower CNG engines with Mercury outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Alan Feingold of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Throttling today is Jerry Davis from Philadelphia. And from Voorhees, New Jersey, it's the navigator, Bobby Horn. So Horn, Davis, and Feingold making up the Kid Apache Kid race team. And 92 has been very good to Feingold and his crew. They're in first in the OPT standings in the Super V class. Rivals in excess. That's another 47-foot Apache. We've got two Apache racing boats going at it. Feingold would love nothing more than to pass the In Excess race team. Then going on the outside of Cobra Marine, I've got Tweet Revenge there. I also see Mean Streak. There's Tweet Revenge, and behind Tweet Revenge, it's Mean Streak. And then on the outside of them, it's Sunoco, the Gifford Racing Team Sunoco. And then we've got Dirty Laundry there. And then right there in your picture, it's Cobra Marine, Tweet Revenge, and Kid Apache. This is officially underway. We've got the green flag, and the 1992 New York National Offshore Championship is officially underway. And right there in your picture, we've got Kid Apache Kid on the inside, Tweet Revenge on the inside, and Sunoco Gifford Racing on the outside. There's your first three boats taking off right there. Bill Gifford on the outside in Gifford Racing Sunoco. Tweet Revenge in the middle of the pack, and In Excess on the inside. That's Kid Apache on the inside, excuse me. In Excess is coming up behind Kid Apache Kid. At the start right now. What an exceptionally strong running boat, and that's Joe Mack's Dirty Laundry going by everyone on the outside. As they pass Kid Apache Kid. And there's Tweet Revenge in the middle of the picture. Gifford Racing Sunoco is right there in front of Tweet Revenge. Joe Mack's Dirty Laundry really starting to stretch it out over the field. He's running first right now and really looking strong. But Budweiser is coming up to overtake second place from Gifford Racing Sunoco Express. And right there we've got Tweet Revenge in the middle of your picture. horsepower Cobra racing engine inboards and CNG marine outdrives. This boat is throttled by Larry Goldman, driven by Randy Garcia, and navigated by Rich Schumann. In the first race of the year that they've had with this boat, they took a first place in Ocean City, and it was extremely rough. So they're not really here for points or anything, but they really enjoyed their first place finish in Ocean City, and they've come out here to show that this boat is for real, and they're going to do some fine racing here today for all the fans in Manhattan. And we can expect to see Tweety's revenge in 1993. Of Art Lily. We've got a good start here, a real clean start, and this looks very good right there with Battery Park down in the background as we look back to the World Trade Centers in Manhattan. What a great backdrop for a very exciting start. And now we're going to go with the first place boat, who's off to a very fast lead. On the outside of the picture right there, moving very nicely, but Gentry's Turbo Eagle really taking off real well, having a great start, picking up right where he left off from Cape Coral last week. And there's Kitana on the outside of Tweet Revenge. Great start, a lot of horsepower taken off here at the start of this group of boats. We're going to go with our first boat. It's boat number 8. Actually, it's boat number 13, the Budweiser Race Team. This 37-foot Cougar is powered by two 850 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Marine Racing Incorporated. Driving today is Hugo Colombo from Miami, Florida, and Earl Lanier is on throttles. Budweiser Race Team had a great year, and they're third in the OPT points in the Open class for 1992, and we wish him all the best here today in his quest for a championship in the Open division. The 47-foot Apache, powered by three 1100 horsepower C&G inboard motors with Mercruiser outdrives. And slightly ahead of Tweet Revenge on the outside, that's Spirit of Norway. This boat is owned by Dan Morris of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Driving today is Randy Garcia from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Navigating is Richard Schumann from Hollywood, Florida. And on throttles, it's Larry Goldman of Hollywood, Florida. In their first race, they took a first place at Ocean City, and they wound up with a third in the OPT points in the V-Class standings for 1992. Through Mallory Square. And now we're coming on boat number 50. It's starting to come up to it now. There it is, and we're going to highlight this boat right now. It's number 50. It's the Apache Heritage Race Team. This 50-foot Apache racing hull is powered by three 1,000 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Patrick Mercurio of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who does the navigating. Omar Daniel from Monaco is your driver. On throttles, it's Richie Powers from North Miami, Florida, and Tim Morgan is also along for the ride in this boat. A very interesting thing happened during the week with this Apache Heritage Race Team. When they had the boat out, they felt that they realized they had poor visibility from driving this boat. So what they did was they decided to bring the boat back to Apache. So Pat Mercurio, Mark McManus, and Richie Powers brought the boat back to Apache, where at the Apache race headquarters, they trimmed the deck, basically cut the deck down to provide the race crew, as they're nestled in their racing cockpits, with much greater visibility. So the boat has been returned, and right now that difference has really made the difference for these guys in terms of much better visibility. So much so, in fact, that they're presently running in first place in the Superboat V class, ahead of Diet Right Sunoco Scarab in excess, and having a lead over Tweet Revenge, who we just saw in the Superboat V class. Right there, that Spirit of Norway on the outside, and on the inside, it's Tweet Revenge going by our copter. Tweet Revenge hanging real tough with Apache Heritage and looking very good at this point in the race also. And now we're coming up on Kid Apache Kid. This is a 45-foot Apache powered by three 1,000 horsepower CNG inboard motors with Merc Cruiser number 6 outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Alan Feingold from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Navigating is Bobby Horn from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And Jerry Davis from Philadelphia is your throttle man. It's in excess race team. This 47-foot Apache is powered by three 1100 horsepower Donovan inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Ted Sabarese of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Rick Sabarese from Fort Lauderdale is your navigator, and Trace Martin from Fort Lauderdale, Florida is on throttle. It's in excess. They wound up second overall in 1992 in the OPT and SBR national point standings, and they got that way with a first in Cocoa Beach, a first in Marathon, second in Sarasota, third Ocean City, and a second in the New York City run in Manhattan just a couple months ago. But it's a good-looking boat. Ted Sabarese really has this boat dialed in quite nicely. Real nice paint job right there. Very colorful, sleek-looking Apache race hull, that 47-footer. And they really go for rough water. They'd even like to see it a little rougher right now because the Apaches thrive in the rough racing conditions. This 41-foot Apache is powered by two 800 horsepower United Racing inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by Rolando Piega of Coral Gables, Florida. Humberto Rodriguez from Miami, Florida is driving, and Fernando Morales from Miami, Florida is your navigator. The Chill Out race team. They raced last week in Cape Coral, Florida, where they had a very good run in the World Championships there in the APBA division. And right now they're locked in a pretty good battle going on with a lot of other boats, and they're presently running in first place ahead of Dollar Marine, Predator, Extractor in the Offshore D boat. They're running in first place right now, and this boat looks very strong. Cat class, and Ohio Steel having a great run in the Open Deep V. Now we come up on D15, the Predator race team. This 41-foot Apache is powered by two 800-horsepower Stotler inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Edward Toth of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Eddie Toth Jr. from Sellersville is your navigator, and Herb Stotler from Fort Lauderdale, Florida is your throttle man. They've had a relatively successful 1992 campaign. Second in Point Pleasant, seventh at Lake St. Clair, first in Ocean City, Maryland. So good, in fact, that they're first in the national standings, and they had a first at the Sunoco Shootout. Line is right there. Karl Myers, how sweet it is. Chill Out Warrior on the outside. Obsession on the outside of him. You look back on the field, and we've got the green flag. There you see Jim Lasnowski's Extractor taking a hull shot and going right out in the middle. So you've got Extractor and going right out with him. It's Pipeline, and how sweet it is too. And there you see Predator closest to us. And on the inside of Predator, we've got Instigator also right there. Then coming up on the inside, a long Extractor, and taking a lead right now, it's Chill Out Warrior. This is a battle right now for position in Offshore D for first place. And Chill Out Warrior has made the move, and he's starting to stretch out a lead right now over Jim Lasnowski's Extractor race team. D99, the Chill Out race team. It's a 41-foot Apache powered by two 800-horsepower United Racing inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by Rolando Piego of Coral Gables, Florida. Humberto Rodriguez from Miami is your driver, and navigating is Fernando Morales of Miami, Florida. And that's Predator coming into the hunt right now also. So Predator has just passed Extractor, and Predator is now on the outside of Chill Out Warrior. A good battle going on in the Offshore D competition. was for your position in your first and second place in Offshore D. So right now, Ed Toth is unofficially in first place in Offshore D as he goes by Chill Out Warrior, as you see in your picture right there. We wish Ed Toth and the Predator crew all the best, and we hope that he can build on his victory from Wednesday and perhaps get the World Championship flag for 1992 in Offshore D. For the race course, we can jump on D55. This is the 41-foot Apache known as Island Runner. This boat is owned and throttled by Frank Kerbick from South Jersey. Driving is John Stanch from South Jersey, and your navigator is Mike Roshko, also from South Jersey. This boat is powered by two 540 cubic inch, 750 horsepower each Stotler racing engines with Merc Cruiser outdrive. The Island Runner, who we didn't see at the start, unfortunately got a very bad start, and they started dead last. But as you can see right now, they're moving up on the field. They're starting to pick off some of the other boats in Offshore D, and they are really starting to make a move on the rest of the field. A hard-charging boat. It's 50. The Apache Heritage. This 50-foot Apache, powered by three 1,000-horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drive, has been an outstanding boat here. They came on, and what a scene they've made. They took a first-place finish on Wednesday, so good, in fact, that they even turned a 100-mile-per-hour lap, and they're looking very good right now. This boat is owned by Patrick Mercurio of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who does the navigating. Omar Daniel of Monaco is your driver, and Richie Powers from North Miami, Florida, is your throttle man. What a boat this is. And a group that really works well together is Pat Mercurio, Mark McManus, and Richie Powers, who've done a lot of design work and refinements on this boat to really make it the hard-charging champion that it is right now. And this boat is certainly the one to challenge in their class. He's unofficially right now running in first place in Superboat V-bottom boats. That, coupled with his first place finish that he got Wednesday, we could ultimately be looking at the champion for 1992 in Superboat V. And that was Obsession being passed. Different class boats, Obsession is still in the running in his category. But as I said earlier on, you could be looking at your potential champion for the 1992 World Championships in Superboat V-bottom boats. From Key West, Florida, it's Patrick Mercurio's Apache Heritage.